What's going on, everybody? Jerry with 3DHP. It has arrived, the XTOOL D1. I've been wanting to try this out for a while. I have a lot of other diode lasers and I've got a K40, but so far, first impressions, this is an awesome machine. Let's do a walk around, we'll talk more about it, and I'll show you a little time lapse here. Oh yeah, the UPS guy delivered it, I caught that on camera, I'll show you that also. The XTOOL D1 has arrived, guys. You mind if I put you on YouTube? You don't care if you're on YouTube?
No, you're good, man.
Cool. Been waiting on this. Awesome.
What is it?
XTOOL D1 laser I've been waiting on.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. Okay, let's walk around and look at the XTOOL. What does it come with? Well, it's not important, but we've got some cool stickers. It has a user manual. The user manual explains how to set everything up, how to build it, put it together, and where to go for different software and in multiple languages. Nice pair of glasses. It has some lube, the steel rails. All the parts that you need. It has some extra Allen wrenches. It's got some samples. Business card, a piece of wood, dog tag, piece of leather. Some very nice stainless steel legs here to extend the height. Very nice rotary. Stock rotary they came out with. It's adjustable. Cord for that. Has a very simple plug to plug it in, which I'll show you. Power switch on the top, or reset. It's got a light here. Power switch. Your power goes in here, and your USB to plug it into your PC. It comes with it has a power brick, and the cord is very long. It's very well constructed. When you put it together, you simply have 3 screws you put on each side, one on the top, as you'll see in the time lapse. This is an adjustment screw. This is an adjustment screw for the belt tension on each side. And before you loosen that, you loosen up this set screw that holds it in place. Loosen this one up on each end, adjust the tension on the belt, and you tighten this one back up. It's very easy. The wiring is very simple on it. It's got a 10-watt power head, which is larger than most of my lasers. And this is a very nice setup here. It's got steel wheels. There is no rubber V-slot wheels. And it has a steel rod here that it travels upon, that occasionally you clean and you grease. Very nice. These side rails feel like they're solid aluminum, very rigid. Turning it up on end, whoops. We've got the control board, which is, I believe, to be a 32-bit, of course. That white plug you see there is when you plug in the rotary, you simply plug it in and you're good to go. The TF card slot right there, where you put in the TF card when you build this. When you put on that long rod there that connects both sides together, you simply slip the wheel into the belt on the left side, as it explains in the paperwork. And then on this side, you put in the plumb coupler, you leave it on loose, and while it is loose, underneath this gantry here, there's 2 brackets, one here and one here. you slide them all the way forward. That way each side is perfectly even. And then you tighten up these set screws. That way it'll be the same. If you just tighten them up and, you know, one of these brackets out in the front, one's in the back, obviously it won't line up. So that's very simple to do. Explained in the paperwork. But walking around the side here, and this aluminum channel here is cut, which you can't really see it here. It fits together very tight, and you simply put a set screw in there. Then you put the two in the front, the 2 or the 3. I don't remember which it was. I believe it's the 3. And then you put the 1 on top. It's very simple. This has a very large 10-watt laser head on it. This cover, isn't easily removable, but if you need to change it for some reason, there is 2 set screws underneath that you can take out to remove this cover if you need to for some reason. When you adjust the laser up and down, you simply loosen this set screw and then you adjust it up and down to the desired height. And coming around here to the other side, speaking of the desired height, it's got a small arm here you pull out and you drop this to the top of your material. That way you have the proper focal depth for everything that you're engraving at that time. And then that just simply, once that touches the material, you tighten up the set screw another side, flip that up out of the way. It has a magnetic catch and holds it in place, and you're good to go. Once you put this on your material, you'll have 2 red crosshairs. You can put that on your material on either of the top left, bottom right, and you can frame out your work. And in Lightburn, it works perfectly. Some people said that it wasn't working properly in Lightburn. I have it working properly in Lightburn. It works great. And it doesn't have any homing switches, but it doesn't need homing switches. You put it out over your work where you want to start, you frame your work, and then it runs a job. The actual build area that it does engrave is 16 by 17. 16 inches by 17 inches is this working area. But yeah, it's a very well constructed machine. I've got a lot more stuff to test and burn here with it, but that's a little bit of a rundown. Very well constructed. It's one of my larger machines. I don't believe I have a build volume that's this large. None of my machines are constructed in the way this one is constructed. They're all done on extrusion with rubber V-slot wheels. And none of them have a power head this large. This is a 10 watt, which has 2 lasers with two focusing mirrors on that. And all the heads are a little bit smaller than this. It has a cooling fan on the top for cooling your work. I do plan on getting air assist and changing this cover out and hooking up an air assist nozzle and module. XTOOL does sell this for this kit, and I'll be purchasing or hopefully reviewing one from them. I'm not sure which way how that's going to go yet. We'll have to see on availability. But yeah, it's very simple to put together. But yes, it's very easy to put the 2 crosshairs on your work when you turn on the machine and run a frame on it. It's very nice. If that's there, you don't have to go grab an SD card or a little block or a piece of plastic or something to set the height. That's built into the side of it right there. Well constructed. Safety glasses. Manual. Does work with Lightburn. They have their own software that you can use with this. I can't think of the name of it at the moment. I'll throw it on the screen. But now it does support Lightburn, so it is working with Lightburn. And I've got a lot more goodies to design, cut, print, make, and show you guys. But so far, so good. Okay, the XTOOL D1 has been moved to the garage. I don't like using an enclosure all the time in the house. This takes up all the room in the enclosure. I can't really see what's going on unless I open up the cover. So I moved it to the garage. It's a big, nice unit. It'll be perfect next to my 2 CNCs, and this will be its new home. So I've got one more thing I need to get done here, and then we'll jump in and I'll show you all the projects I got done. But yeah, so far so good. Had a couple minor little glitches here, which I'll talk about. Okay, here's our support site at support.xtool.com. It has just about everything that I have in the actual physical manual. It shows a packing list of everything that comes in the package. It goes through and explains assembly, how you put the 4 corners together. And you take the set screws and you just put them in place around on each corner, like I mentioned. 3 here, 1 on top. Very simple to do. The 2 adjustment screws go in here on the back of it to adjust the belt. And the top X rail, dropping it in place with 4 bolts. Very simple to do. And here's right here where I'm pointing with my arrow. That's where I was talking about, where you put the roller on the belt. And then you line up both pieces at the end, and then you tighten up the set screws, the grub screws on the coupler. It explains hooking up which wire goes where and put zip ties on it. Proper way to put a plug in, which is pretty obvious. I'm sure everybody knows how to do that. And the manual shows all this, plus it's here on the website. Very simple to do. Put the TF card into the board. And then it goes on to explain what you do in the software. With their laser box app on your computer or cell phone. And I'm using Lightburn. I'm not sure that I'll even be using their software. So I use Lightburn. But it's very simple to set up. It explains everything. And jumping over to their other site at xtool.com. Here's a picture of their dual laser setup, the way it works. The 2 lasers hit a synthetic lens and they go straight down to a convex lens at 0.8 compression spot. And there's where the leg extender's put on. And that picture appears to have 3 on each end, but it comes with 2 for each side, a total of 8. So this top one here would be part of the machine, then you'd have 2 more. Total of 8. And let's see what we got here. We got some different samples. And there's the steel wheels I was talking about that run on the steel rail. And when you adjust the 2 belts on the back of it, as I mentioned, you just put in your wrench. You can put a little tension on the belt, loosen or tighten as needed. and lots of useful information. And the RA2 Pro, this is their new rotary that they came out with, looks really cool. And the different specs, let's see, laser modules 10 watt, laser spot is 0.08 millimeters, wavelength 450 to 460 millimeters. The working area is 16 by 17 inches or 432 millimeters by 406 millimeters. Maximum work height is 50 millimeters. But there's all the components laid out, like I showed in the unboxing, which is probably fairly quick. It's very nice that it has a power brick. It's got a very long cord. And some samples and all the extrusion. Well, it's not extrusion, all the 4 pieces of the frame, which are very heavy duty, very well designed. Okay, let's take a look and see what I got done here. Okay, first off, on my test piece of wood here, I done my laborers local. I used to be in laborers union. I retired, so I got their logo right here. I did not cut it out, but you can feel it. It's embossed in it really well. I'll put all my settings on the screen for everything here that I don't mention. And then I done a test cut here. This is 5mm birch. You can buy these quarter sheets down at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I cut this at 120 millimeters a minute, 100% power, 1 pass. Cut it out like butter. Then I made a note on it, you know, what it was, so in the future I know what machine did, you know, I'll remember my settings on the sample. That came out really nice. And then on the leather wallet, ordered me a new wallet, RFID wallet. It's some type of leather. And a friend of mine recommended, hey, you might want to make a sample on the inside just to make sure it burns okay. So I looked at a recommended setting that XTOOL has right here in the book for leather. And I've done a JK, my initials, and I can feel it. It engraved it very well. And then since the wallet kind of pops up, I use blue tape, as you seen in the video, and I taped it down. And I put my logo on it, you know, 3D printing and painting, 3D HP. Came out very nice, and I just wiped it off with a wet rag. But that came out very good. And then I was talking to my wife, and I said, hey, do you know what this box is for? She goes, no, I have no idea. I said, you know what X-TOOL stands for? She goes, no, I don't. So that's the reason I put it on the box. Danger, knives inside. It's got all my X-TOOL knives and blades. So you wouldn't want somebody getting in that that didn't belong and accidentally cut themselves. They're very sharp. And then I grabbed a couple dog bones from the dollar store. And I got one for Nikita and Sandy. And I'll put my power levels on the screen here. And I engraved one for my one dog, Nikita. Another one for Sandy. And when I framed Sandy, I noticed that the bone is a little bit higher on the one side. And it bumped the bone a little bit. That's why it shifted it over. But, you know, it did engrave them. And I cranked up my power on this just a little bit on Sandy. And like I say, I'll put those on the screen. And then something I thought would be really cool. I got this off of Etsy. I bought the patterns for it. And this is 4 layers. It's 5mm birch. There's 4 pieces here glued together. It cut through it like butter. 120 millimeters a minute. 100% power. 1 pass. But it was very hard to get it all apart. I mean, it did cut all the way through it, but there's some little tiny areas here and there that were kind of stuck. So I used an X-TOOL knife, a little screwdriver, separate them. Then I painted all them, stacked them up very carefully, and you super glue them between each layer. But that's pretty awesome. So it's about 12 inches in diameter. It's like 11 3/4, almost 12 inches. And that's pretty cool. And then moving on over here, I have a tumbler that I do a lot of experiments on. I was going to do this bigger for the video, but I figured for the sake of the video, this will work. That's a Betty Boop there. I put on a tumbler, and yes, it's orientated wrong. I have her upside down. But that came out very nice. And I use, what do you call them? Magic erasers. And I go underneath the sink, and I just scrub off any excess with a magic eraser. I'll put a link below where you can buy them on Amazon, but that worked really well. And then as you see in the little video clip, I took some dry moly lube. I seen this over on Build Dad Build's website. And so I got some dry moly lube. Got a Dollar Tree glass, which is tapered here, and has kind of a curve in it. It's kind of hard to get set up in the rotary, and it moved on me just slightly. But once again, I took it over to the sink, and I scrubbed it all off. I left the rest of it on, so I can do some more engraving. but it scrubs off real easy underwater. And it kind of has a booger there, a mess up right here. Right when it's getting ready to get done, it shifted just a little bit. Now, one thing about something, if you have something that might possibly jump out of the rollers or move, when you go to frame it, when it frames, it moves very fast. So there's a couple ways to get around that. You can draw a big box or a rectangle on the screen at very low power that just barely turns on the diode laser. You can run the job at a very low power, and that way when it frames it, or it runs the job, very slowly it'll move. When you do a normal frame, the rollers jump around a lot and your work might jump around. So that's one way to look at it. Now you can frame it with the red dot, put it right where you want it, and if you know it's going to work out, you can just start the job. But typically when you frame, the rollers jump real fast when it's doing a frame, so you can just set it up manually and let it go. Or like I say, you could draw a rectangular box or something on the screen, fire it at low power, run just a rectangle box at really low power, and like 3 passes, 2-3 passes, and it would turn very slow at very slow increments, and it wouldn't jump around. But yeah, that did work out, except for that little booger right there. So that was very cool. And I've got a dog tag here they supplied. I put wifey on one side, and so my wife don't get upset that I got her name on a dog tag. I put hubby on the other side. I can see that, but I can't feel it. It is not engraved into the stainless. I don't know why. It should have went deeper than it did. Like I say, the settings I'll put right here on the screen. I can see it, but I can't feel it. So that is pretty cool. And I think that's everything I got here. Yeah, and as far as for safety glasses, all diode lasers, even though they have a red, yellow, orange cover, whatever it may be, always wear your safety glasses at all times, because you never know. You might be approaching the laser from a distance. You can see it. It might bounce off something, be reflective. For safety's sake, you only have one set of eyes. Always wear safety glasses around a diode laser, or any laser for that matter. Safety first, protect your eyes. You never know when you might get a reflection or catch it out of the corner of your eye or anything. Always wear safety glasses. Even though some companies might say, oh, you don't need them, it's got a protective cover around the laser. You can still see underneath that. You can see it from a distance. Always wear your protective safety glasses. And like I say, in the book here, they got recommended settings for your different lasers. And I'm using Lightburn. I didn't use their software. I just used Lightburn. And when you set it up and you go in to pick your laser, it tells you in a book here, you go to their website, you download a file, a configuration file that runs in Lightburn, and you import that, and boom, it works. Now, the one problem I did have that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is I've got 5 other diodes and a CO2 laser, and I use Lightburn with all of them. On this particular machine, for some unknown reason, in the house here and in my other PC in the garage, when I would run a job, it would get done, like I say, 99%, 100%. It's got a little bar that tells you how far along it goes, and then the job is done. The laser would still run for like another 5 or 10 minutes. The job wasn't done, but the software said it was done. I've contacted Lightburn, I've contacted XTOOL. Neither one have any idea why this is happening. I updated the software, Lightburn out in the garage, had the same exact issue. Why that happened, I didn't know. And then the one other issue I had, which I'll pull it up on the screen here and I'll show you in Lightburn, the bottom right corner, you pick your device, you pick your COM port, 3rd box over. Every time I pick my device for any other laser, it autofills the other 2 automatically. Well, yesterday I was down for a couple hours. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't connect to the XTOOL. Well, come to find out, the 3rd box wasn't populating. So once I realized it and I hit the down arrow on the 3rd tab on the bottom left, which I'll show you here on the screen, wham bam, it worked, because it didn't auto-populate the 3rd one and tell me what machine I was using. Where my other diodes, that is a must, it automatically happens. But anyway, yeah, I got a lot of cool goodies here. The machine, other than that, the machine works great. It's a very durable, rugged machine. I haven't used it over a long period of time, obviously. We'll revisit this with other videos in the future. I'd like to put air assist on it. I'd like to try out the new rotary they just came out with, where it can hold other types of objects. And we'll see where it goes. And I guess that's about it, guys. Until I do the next video. So please like, subscribe, share, check out these pictures at the end of the video. Please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll share this out on social media. You can check me out on Facebook at 3D Printing and Painting, 3DHP, my group I have over there. And then I do live streams every week, Maker Hangouts every Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific. Jerry 3DHP, I'll have it on the screen here. That's where you can find me over on Twitch. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Later, guys. Bones for dogs. Sit. Sit. Okay, this one's Nikita's. That's for Nikita. And we've got one for Sandy. There you go. Bones for dogs. That's a bone. Bones for tummies.